Hello, my name is Cielo Cervantes, and we're going to review 6 articles. My topic is artificial intelligence, its impacts and integrations within higher education. First article is called Sea Change, Generative AI Hits Education. Its type is a commentary. Its methodology uses qualitative interviews, research review, and analysis. This article provides an overview of the key events, forces, and initiatives that are affecting the quick integration of AI within the education sector. While some schools are, quote, scrambling to rewrite the rules on plagiarism, end quote, others are accepting or embracing this new reality. The AI for GA program is a proactive example that is creating 9-week elective AI-focused curriculum for middle schools in Georgia. Batia Bentley, one of these curriculum developers, states that students will be told, don't just regurgitate, collaborate. Instructional designers are already putting it to great effect, and one example was shared for a rich interactive learning experience about a young girl traveling the Underground Railroad, which was created in, quote, about an hour. The U.S. Department of Education, Office of Educational Technology, advises that we need to teach students to use AI as an assisting technology, but students need to be the leaders and still need to know its limitations, language, and potential biases. There are some companies trying to address the inherent biases and digital divide by developing tools for students with language or accent barriers, but these tools are early in development and not yet widespread. The next article is called Exploring the Potential of Generative Artificial Intelligence in Education, Applications, Challenges, and Future Research Directions. This is an editorial position paper, and its methodology. The authors define the challenges of generative AI-based learning, explore the various roles of generative AI in education, and provide examples and implications of ChatGPT in academic research and education. While limited in its scope, the authors provide concrete examples and strategies of how ChatGPT, even in its current form, can provide for a wealth of inputs and outputs relevant to the various learning and instructing roles in education. They suggest that researchers and educators should get rid of the search mindset and use a programming prompt instead to work with generative AI applications. Further, that, quote, from the perspective of education, fostering teachers and students' competencies of programming prompts would significantly affect the quality of general AI-based learning and teaching, including the quality of learning content, learning designs, and assessment designs for teachers, and the learning outcomes of students. That's from page 17 of their report. These useful guidelines are provided in order to refine prompts to get quality responses. Number 1, be specific. Avoid ambiguous words. 2, provide clear context. 3, role play. Specify how you want the generative AI to respond. 4, use reciprocal questioning. Ask the generative AI to raise clarifying questions. And 5, describe the specific format of the desired response. The next article is Maintaining the Integrity of the South African University, the Impact of ChatGPT on Plagiarism and Scholarly Writing. This is qualitative, and its methodology is a review and exploration of current AI technology within higher education, with interviews of 3 professors in South Africa. The author makes the case that negative views surrounding generative AI have been inflated, and that attitudes and responses among higher education institutions are being affected by popular media. Professors and lecturers need professional development in order to incorporate this new disruptive technology to, quote, align themselves with the constantly changing digital society. These changes will not appear as a threat if universities teach students the skills they need to navigate higher education ethically. Next, university teachers' perceptions of responsibility and artificial intelligence in higher education, an experimental philosophical study. The type of research is quantitative, although it also uses mixed methods. It uses a survey with an experimental philosophy approach. Participants were instructors at one of the largest universities in Sweden. The survey aimed to assess instructors' position and attitudes in relation to AI ed tools and systems, but also contained an experiment with 3 different randomly distributed cases in order to, quote, examine whether equity is central to teachers' perceptions of responsibility, end quote. Questions in the survey were identical except for the student context, which included either a student who A, was a first-generation college student, B, an academically adept background, or C, has a learning disability. Its key findings: that generally, the respondents indicated that these tools should be used to achieve equitable outcomes. One difference observed in the different case groups was when confidence in the university would increase when these tools were used to assist the student with a learning disability. But for the adept student without a disability, that confidence in the university would decrease. This suggests that the instructors are mindful of the equity issues at stake, but it simultaneously outlines the ambiguity and tension in how these resources might be distributed. 39.5% of respondents reported having little or no knowledge of AI, suggesting that the knowledge gap amongst instructors is a definite impediment to implementing AI educational tools and systems throughout their learning practices. By improving AI literacy and readiness, positive change and resiliency of the institutions will be increased. Our next article, Generative Artificial Intelligence, University Student Awareness, Experience, and Confidence in Use Across Disciplines. It's quantitative. It was a survey of 1,135 diverse students from an Australian university. Likert scale questions were used in order to more accurately gauge knowledge, experience, confidence, and perceptions about generative AI. Additional comparisons could be made based on demographic data, which included the students' area of discipline. Generally, students had relatively low knowledge, experience, and confidence using generative AI. At this point, very few instructors have incorporated generative AI into their classes, so student experience varies widely. Most students have learned about AI through social media, which leaves gaps for institutional communication about the issue to outline academic integrity risks and expectations. The students' confidence in using generative AI ethically increased, expectedly, with experience. Science and engineering students reported significantly higher experience and confidence rates compared to other disciplines such as healthcare. Older students, 40 years and above, reported less confidence in using it ethically compared with younger students. Lastly, managing the strategic transformation of higher education through artificial intelligence. This used mixed methods. Its methodology included a systematic review, meta-analysis, and narrative review. The study explores and outlines the theoretical design and functional aspects of an AI-centered smart university. In order to create this, quote, universities and educational policy makers need to engage in comprehensive and inclusive discussions about AI's role in higher education and devise guidelines for its responsible use, end quote. Measures must be put in place to ensure transparency, accountability, and to address algorithmic bias and guarantee the fair distribution of AI benefits. AI-driven smart universities of the future, powered by new quantum technologies, will present an array of new opportunities, but will also require transformational shifts in institutional management and strategic planning. The changes needed to adapt these strategies will require commitment from all stakeholders from within higher ed. As part of my wrap-up, I would like to share this quote from the previous author's work. Because as exciting as AI technologies are for transformational change within higher education, that potential should serve to enhance not only learning outcomes, but also the experience of learning. There is the, quote, potential erosion of educational caliber. While AI possesses the prowess to personalize and offer timely feedback, it lacks the nuances of face-to-face interactions between students and educators. The irreplaceable human element, characterized by mentorship and spontaneous interactions, remains beyond AI's reach. Students could thus miss out on the myriad benefits of active participation in a vibrant academic milieu. There are also looming concerns over data protection, potential algorithmic bias, and the ability of AI to grapple with nuanced issues demanding human discernment, like ethical dilemmas, multifaceted research, and critical thought. In conclusion, having worked in education now for the majority of my life, mostly within higher education, I can see both the benefits and the potential losses from this AI-augmented transformation. Like the wide adoption of computers and internet resources into the educational process, students have much to gain, but simultaneously we will be forced to give up aspects of the learning experience. I do believe there is evidence that the integrity of the academic pursuit and institutions will continue amidst this monumental shift, but we as educators and as students have a responsibility of helping each other along so that we are not set adrift amidst this new sea of changes.